At 65, most folks are getting established. Not beginning anew. But when the world informed Colonel Harland Sanders that he was too old, too poor, and too late, he figured he'd knock on just one more door. He was told no over 1,000 times, but imagine what would have happened if he had given up at 1,008. Harland Sanders did not inherit money. He did odd jobs as a farmhand, as a streetcar conductor, as a railroad fireman. He had a small service station in Corbin, Kentucky, and he started to cook for people who stopped by. Fried chicken, biscuits, gravy, all prepared from his tiny kitchen. Folks liked his food. It was his pride, his passion. He eventually converted his little station into a big restaurant. But fate had something else in store. At the age of 60, the new interstate highway system diverted traffic from his establishment. Almost overnight, his crowds vanished. His now-defunct restaurant had to close. At the time when most men can hardly wait to retire, Sanders was left with a modest Social Security stipend, roughly $105 a month, and a lifetime of dreams disintegrating around him. Most would have taken defeat. 65 isn't really the time you begin pursuing empires, right? But Sanders possessed something no defeat could strip him of, his recipe and his conviction. He loaded his pressure cooker, his mysterious 11 herbs and spices formula, and set out driving around America. Not to sell chicken, but to sell a concept, a fried chicken franchise restaurants would be able to utilize, paying him a fee for each piece sold. With a white suit, white hair, and a persistent grin, he knocked on doors, door by door and door after door. Closed in his face, 100 rejections, 100 rejections, 100 rejections. Some ridiculed him. Others informed him that he was wasting his time. Some even told him to simply enjoy the rest of his life. But Sanders had faith in his chicken. He had faith in himself. By the time he encountered rejection number 1008, most would have already given up long before. But he didn't, because deep inside Sanders knew all it takes is one yes. Finally, one tiny restaurant owner agreed, then another. And another. His fried chicken spread nationally like wildfire. The title Kentucky Fried Chicken became a family name. By the early 1960s, there were more than 600 franchised KFC outlets. Sanders sold the business for $2 million, worth tens of millions today, but remained as the brand's ambassador. He didn't build an empire in his 20s. He did it in his 60s, because he refused to let rejection define his ending, Colonel. Sanders wasn't special because he never failed. He was special because he never stopped. Over 1,000 rejections, decades of detours, yet one unshakable belief carried him forward. So the next time life tells you it's too late, or you're not good enough, or it'll never work, remember this. What if Sanders had given up at 1008? He would have been a man with a recipe, and not a legend with a legacy, and possibly the only barrier between you and your breakthrough is the next door you're about to open. If this story motivated you, forward it to someone ready to quit, and remind them the next yes could change everything.